Hello and welcome to the Trusted Podcast. I'm your host, Blake Johnson, and today we are going to be talking about New Year's, talking about new goals, especially in fitness. And so I've got a wonderful guest coming on today. We've got Louise, and Rebecca, thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. Always a fun time with New Year's and all the new fitness goals and all the other goals. So let's talk about that. But before we do, why don't you give me a little bit of background about yourself and your company, and what makes you the trusted expert in fitness and exercise?
Wow. Okay. The trusted expert. I think really the biggest thing is experience. I grew up in a very small town in England called Eastbourne. It's where everybody goes to retire. So I was like, by the age of 18, I was like, I got to get out of here. Otherwise my life is going to flash before me. So I moved to London at 18. I lived there for 5 years. And then I came to America when I was 22 years old to get my commercial pilot's license, of all things. I wanted a change. I wanted something different. I wanted to learn a new skill. I also wanted to get out of the current situation that I was in London, kind of toxic partying environment that wasn't the best for me. So came over to America. And I was like, the best place to learn how to fly airplanes is either Florida or Southern California. And I grew up watching Laguna Hills on MTV. And I was like, one day, Lauren Conrad, I'm going to be driving down Pacific Coast Highway with my convertible car. I'm hanging out with my OC crew. And now I do have a convertible and I live, right off Pacific Coast Highway. So came over to California. I did my whole pilot's license. And then once I completed it, I went back to England. I finished all of my written exams for the training. And I just realized that it wasn't my ultimate passion. It was an amazing experience. It was super fun. It was challenging, but I love working with people. And I realized that actually being a pilot wasn't all it was cracked up to be. You don't get to fly to the Maldives. You don't get to fly to all the most amazing places. You start off, just flying to some not so great places. And I came back to America, managed to get myself a visa to work in the States, in the entertainment industry. And I went for an audition to be on a YouTube channel. And when I got there, it was all about fitness. And I grew up playing sports as a kid. I was a South of England field hockey player. I was sports captain at school, like any kind of sports I was going to be involved with. And I went for this audition to be a host of this, fitness channel. And I realized that my one talent in life is talking and working out at the same time. I think I've had so many singing lessons from trying to be in girl bands. And by the way, I cannot sing, that it actually taught me a different way of how to use my voice. So I started on YouTube probably, oh my goodness, like 7, 8 years ago, worked for another company. And then after a year and a half, they stopped. And it took me about a year to get my confidence to make my own channel. But now I've had my own channel for about, coming up 6 or 7 years. And we have a fitness app and it's just amazing. And, it's all come from my own personal experience. What workouts do I love to do? How do I like to look after my body? What keeps me motivated? And I just do what I love and I share it with other people. And I think that really is what makes me an expert, is that I found something that I truly love that works for me. And if you want to do it too, great, follow along. And it's kind of worked for millions of people around the world.
Great. Well, yeah, you can definitely see your passion in it, and I think that's a big thing whenever we have a guest on, is we want somebody who's actually passionate about what they're talking about, because it makes a big difference in whether they actually dive deep into it and can really talk about it for what they really know. All right, next question. What are the biggest mistakes you see people make with regards to working out and losing weight?
Okay, so biggest mistakes, I think, is that people feel like they have to do cardio. They have to feel like they have to do a certain type of exercise to lose weight. And people always say, well, what's the best? What's the best workout to do? What should I do? And I'm like, do the thing that you love. What is the workout that you just adore? Do you like cycling? Do you like going hiking? Do you like going for walks? Do you like Zumba class? Whatever it is that you love to do that. Because what that's going to do is going to enforce you to keep on going and to actually show up each time. I think the biggest misconception is I have to do a certain type of workout to get results. And then a lot of people miss out on the nutrition. They think that, it's all about working out. For me, I used to run on the treadmill all day. I used to do a million of different ab crunches and ab exercises, but I was never feeding my body the best in nutrition. So I always tell my audience, it's 80% nutrition, 20% fitness. And when you flip that round, that's when you really start to get those results.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting how people think they can sweat out their calories for what they consume, and if you're gonna eat garbage all the time, you're never gonna be able to work out enough to do it. Yeah, you might burn the calories, but your body's not being fed the right things. It's definitely not a good recipe, I should say. Uh,
100%.
yeah, I mean, I'm a big fitness person. I love working out, always have, and you're right. The passion is the biggest thing. If you're not excited to get out of bed and go do it, it's going to be a lot harder for you to get up and do that on a consistent basis. I'm to the point now where I've been doing it every day for, at least 6 years or so. So now it's like, okay, I'm going to do stuff that's maybe not the most comfortable, but that's because I'm trying to push myself and to do something different. But I would agree with that 100%. Do something that you like first until you can get that habit really dialed in.
So true.
All right. Give me two things that people can do starting for this new year to start off right and maintain a workout routine or a weight loss routine.
Okay, so number one, it's finding a community. And sometimes you feel like you have to have your best friend join you or a family member. You could actually just start a program, whether you turn up to a studio, whether you turn up to, you just find a community online that has an app, that has workouts, whatever it is, and just embrace that. If you participate, you're going to get stuff back. If you sit on the sidelines and you don't, make the comments, you don't encourage each other on, you don't show up for things, you won't get those results because you're not as invested. What I found with our community is that when someone comes in, if they participate, if they chime in with the group chat, if they get themselves involved, they start to realize that people will notice if they're not there. So, if we do a live workout on YouTube, it's like, right, who's here today? Everybody puts their name in the chat. And people will start to realize, oh my goodness, it's so and so. They're on here. I've never met them before. They live, 20,000 miles away from me. But if you join a community, it's going to hold you accountable. So that's the first thing about, getting started. And then the second thing is I'm going to bring it back to, what we spoke about. Find something new and exciting. Find something new. Try something you haven't done before. Maybe you've never ever, joined a running club, or maybe it's, you want to train for a specific event. I love endurance, and I think, the two of us absolutely love endurance tests. And that's something that really you can train for. So it's like, why don't you find a program that you're going to complete that has a beginning and an end? Maybe that you're going to train for a 5K. So have a goal in mind of something that you want to complete. We have, a new 31-day program in January. So it's like, right, I'm going to commit to doing day one all the way down to 30. Or maybe there is a, half marathon coming up in May. What do I need to do from now until then to be able to reach that goal? It's going to keep you excited. It's going to make you feel accomplished and that you actually achieve something, rather than like, okay, I'm starting my New Year's resolution and I'm just going to do a workout each week. Well, where's the end? Like, people need an end, because that's why most people fall off in February, March, is because they feel like it's going to extend the whole year. So if you just break it down into chunks, hey, I'm going to complete this 30-day program. I'm going to go do this half marathon. I'm going to sign up for this triathlon, whatever it is. Find things that have a beginning and an end so that you can complete it and you can celebrate your success.
Yeah, and then when you do that, sign up for that event and pay for it. Because if you say, I'm going to do that and I'll sign up later, you're not going to do it. For me, my big thing this year is I'm doing rim to rim to rim in the Grand Canyon. It's 50 milers, and we're not just hiking it, we're running it, which is insane. I've never run more than, let's see, last week I did 8 miles. That's the most I've ever run consecutively. But like you said, that's my end date, so I've got something I'm working towards, and it's keeping me going, because otherwise I hate running. I wouldn't get out of bed to do it.
100%. You've got to have a goal. It's got to be a reason for it. And I like what Jesse said is like, how did he run the 100 miles? He ran like 7, and then, walk for 7, run for 7, whatever it was. I was like, that's the way to do it.
Yeah. It's there are ways to break it down and do it, and making it manageable is a big thing. All right. So COVID made it a little bit difficult to go to a gym. So what are some basic home exercises that don't require equipment that are very effective that people kind of overlook?
Yeah, and it's interesting because I've been to a gym before, obviously, to do classes, and I've had a trainer. If I go to a gym and just use the equipment, I will probably just stare at a piece of equipment and be like, "Oh, can I remember how to use it? I can't remember how to use it." And then I'm just walking around the gym and you don't actually use any equipment and you haven't actually done a proper workout. So for me, I love classes and I love home workouts because I'm basically doing the class at home. There are so many things that you can do from home, in your backyard, in your bedroom. All that you need is the size of a mat. I mean, a lot of my exercises on YouTube are just free body weight exercises that you need the size of your mat, and that's it. So whether you're doing lunges or squats or push-ups or mountain climbers, I mean crunches, there's so many things that really you're doing in the gym anyway. You're just taking it in at home and maybe not using machines and using the heavy weights. Resistance bands are a really great thing to add into your workout because that's just going to take it up to the next level. I know right now it's kind of difficult to get weights. Maybe that they're more expensive, but you can pick up a pair of resistance bands for pretty cheap. And if you just add that into your workout, one, you're going to feel the burn way more. It's going to activate and wake up muscles in your in your body. That's going to make sure that you have the best workout. And I really feel like if you can add in some resistance bands, that's the way to do it from home.
The one thing I noticed this year, because I used to go to the gym and lift weights religiously every day, or at least 3 times a week if I was doing a big cardio training for an event or something. And after about a month of working out from home and doing those body weight exercises, I noticed my joints felt so much better because I didn't have that extra inflammation from the weights, and so it actually has been much better for me to work out from home. So I'm actually grateful for that.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's great. And we feel like you got to lift up like so much weight. But my program's all about balance fitness, balance nutrition. So doing yoga, doing Pilates, doing cardio, doing body weight, doing a bit of everything, doing stretching, and then you're going to have a overall balanced, fitness, just like you would a nutrition plan.
Okay. So let's talk. I didn't really talk about this in the outline, but let's talk about nutrition. What are the basics of nutrition that people can get on board that'll have a maximum impact without having to go and meal prep for 8 hours or something like that?
Yeah, I think the whole nutrition side, meal prepping, meal planning, like can feel so overwhelming because there's so much stuff out there. There's so many different, things that you can do. And honestly, look, they all work as long as you work. And if you find something that you love and it fits for you, great. My biggest suggestion is find something that you can do forever so that you don't go off it and on it because that's what a diet is, right? First three letters of diet is DIE, die. Nobody wants to do that, right? So it's important to find something that you can stick to forever. Because I've had people come to me and they say, I've done this and I've done that. But when I stopped doing it, I went back to how I was looking before. And I said, well, yes, that's what happens is you will lose that weight. But if you go back to eating how you did before, you're going to put that weight back on. So find something that you can do forever. And for me, it's all about balanced nutrition. So it's, putting out your hand, your palm size piece of protein, you bring your hands together, nice big scoopful of vegetables, bring your fist, and that's your complex carb, right? So using your own hand rather than having to get all of these measuring things out, like, right, protein, vegetables, complex carb. So, that would be my lunch, dinner. I always start my day off with a shake because I'm pretty much running around all over the place. And I'm like, I just need to get something into my body so that I can start my day. And then I have a couple of protein snacks throughout the day, whether that's Greek yogurt, eggs, cottage cheese, maybe some eggs on toast with avocado. But I keep it pretty, simple. I have dessert and stuff when I go out. I don't restrict myself. I occasionally drink alcohol. I know that alcohol really does slow down your metabolism. So if that's somewhere where you're struggling to lose weight, cut out the alcohol. And I think really it's just finding a balanced nutrition plan that you can stick to forever and you don't feel restricted. Because as soon as you feel restricted, I can't have this on my plan. I'm not supposed to have this. like you start to waver off, you start to taper off and go, you know what, this is too much. I'm never going to be able to do this forever. So I always teach my clients, have a healthy breakfast shake in the morning, full of vitamins, minerals, good carbs, good fats, and then eat balanced meals throughout the day, lots of water, and get 30 minutes of exercise in. Keeping it simple.
Yep, yeah. For me, my thing is I pack myself a giant bag of vegetables, and that's my snack for the day. And so like I have to eat that after lunch before I can snack on anything else. And if I do that, then I'm usually not hungry for all the other stuff, and I've gotten a good portion of vegetables in. And if I am still hungry, okay, great. I eat whatever it is because my body's telling me it's hungry, but at least I get that minimum of that big bag of veggies in, and that's kind of my baseline of, okay, I at least got my veggies in, and that keeps me from snacking all day long on the chips and other unhealthy things. All right. Why should someone hire a coach or a trainer versus trying to do a fitness plan by themselves?
Everybody needs a coach. In fact, the top people in the world have coaches, and success leaves clues. So Tony Robbins has a coach, LeBron James has a coach, like all of the top, NFL players, sports people, successful entrepreneurs, everybody has a coach, because you never want to have an ego to think that you know enough. You always want to be seeking more knowledge, seeking more expertise, and seeking more, things that we're going to be able to heighten your life, because you don't know, you're not the expert. If I wanted to go and find out how to be an expert in swimming, I would go find Katie Hoff. You know what I mean? I'd go and find somebody who was an expert in something, and I'd be like, hey, teach me how to do it. One, it's going to make sure that you're on the right track. So it's going to condense the time. If you have a coach, they're going to be able to shorten the time period where you're figuring it out. That coach has already spent time figuring it out and understanding it. So by hiring a coach, your time is going to be compressed. You're going to get better results, and you're going to stay on track because they're going to keep you accountable. So everybody needs a coach, and that's why it's so important at whatever level that you are at, that you find a coach or somebody that you feel like can hold you accountable or you would take advice from. So I think it's absolutely crucial to have a coach in whatever you're doing in life.
Yeah, that was a real eye opener for me when somebody's like, well, think about it. The NBA players all have coaches, they all have trainers, they all have that. And I'm like, you're right. Like, just because I've graduated from college and don't have a coach anymore, like, doesn't mean I shouldn't have one. I should get one for business, for one for fitness, and so on. And it's true. It helps to have those experts and also the accountability that goes along with it. So I agree 100%.
Awesome.
Okay, what should people look for in a fitness coach or trainer? I think that's the big question is, okay, I want one, but how do I know who's the right person?
One of the things that my mentor taught me was, don't take advice from someone you wouldn't trade places with. And so I think that's the thing that you're looking at. It's like, do I agree with this person's ethics, their morals, their values? Do I want to look like them? Do I like their style? Some people might want someone who is really hard on them. You might want somebody who's had a more softer approach. That's why I'm not going to fit everybody, and somebody else isn't going to fit everybody, and why there's room for so many people out there to be coaches. So I think you just have to feel, it's a feeling. It's like, does this person align with me? Am I excited by them? Do I like their workouts? Do I like, their nutrition plan? Like, what is it that I like about this person? And can I see myself, being part of this community, being part of this environment? So I think when you're out there looking for a coach, one, go out and speak to 10 different people. Find 10 different people on YouTube. You want to find a new fitness coach, go do 10 different people's YouTube videos, and then decide, which one feels the best for me. Which one do I feel most aligned with? Which one am I excited about? And then that's going to be the one for you. And then stick with them. You got to give them a good 30 days to be able to, actually to put the program into place for you. And I think that's just the best way, is trying out 10 different people and just seeing for you which one feels the best.
Okay. Any major red flags people should stay away from?
I mean, if they feel like it depends what you're looking for. If it feels like, this is the nutrition program that you got to follow and you can't do X, Y, and Z and all of this stuff, and you're already feeling like, wow, like that doesn't feel like something I could do forever. I want people to find something that they can do forever, because when you go on go off things. And it's not to say that you can never mix up a different workout or routine, but like find something that you really feel is going to be a lifestyle. That's what mine's all about. It's about lifestyle. It's about finding the right lifestyle and that's something that fits into your program. So if you feel like the community isn't quite aligned with your goals, maybe there's some negative comments going on, or people in the community are not lifting each other up, I think that's a big thing. And I would also look for somebody who doesn't just have the fitness and nutrition. I'd look for someone who has the personal development and the mindset too. Because yes, it's 20% fitness, 80% nutrition, but 100% is your mindset. So if you don't have a coach that knows about personal development and doesn't know about mindset and how to keep you motivated, and not just about fitness and nutrition, how can they motivate you in your outside of the world? How can they create strength within you, not just to hold the plank, but to be able to stand up for yourself in a relationship or stand up for this new job that you want, so that it is a full lifestyle? We do a lot of the personal development side, and I think that because it's changed my life so much. And so if you're looking for a coach, find somebody who has that aspect to it as well, because it's going to just help your whole life rather than just giving you abs.
Yeah, abs are good, but there's a few more things to it to life.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, and that's how we met, right? So we went to the Build Your Life resume with Jesse Itzler, and that's his whole thing, is it's about your life, not just your work resume or everything else, and so yeah, you want to elevate all aspects of your life. So I appreciate that. Anything else that we missed, fitness or diet related, that you think is essential for us to cover today?
Oh, I think the biggest thing is just finding your why. Like, why is it that you want to get results? Because when you start to fall off, you need to have it posted up on your wall, in your diary, on the back of your phone. Like, why am I doing this? And get so emotionally connected. So I do exercises with my team. It's like closing your eyes and thinking about, what would it feel like when I get this result? What would it feel like when I step out into the world and I'm down, 10 pounds? I feel confident. Keep coming back to that why, because there's going to be so many days where you feel like it's too much and you can't show up. And that leads me into my next point, is that just keep on showing up. Talk about 3 ways to show up. Number 1, just get your body in the room. How many times have we done a workout where we're there, but we're thinking about what we're having for dinner, or we're doing something else, or we're going through our to-do list, right? And then you're like, did I just do that exercise that everybody else did? Because you're literally on autopilot. You can't really remember if you did it. And then you're not really working to your fullest potential. So even if that is you, still show up. Because if you miss a workout, or you miss something, or you stop showing up for anything in your life, you'll start to go down. And then you'll start to come into a position where you're just not showing up and you're not there for yourself. So even if it's really difficult, even if you don't want to show up, that's where you have to show up more. Number 2 is you show up and your brain comes with you. It's like magical. You're like, wow, now I'm here, I'm focused, my brain is here, I'm ready to go, right? And then the third way is that you show up, your brain is there, and you bring people with you, so that you get to be a leader. You get to influence other people into creating, a community around you. And you will never have people follow you. You'll never be able to have impact on other people if you don't do the very first thing, which is show up even when you don't want to. So going into the new year, just remember that. Just keep on showing up. Keep on showing up. There's been numerous times where, I've been in tears and I've had to get on a Zoom call and I'm like, what's up, everybody? It's Rebecca Louise. Like, let's go. And I've had to change my state. And it's created this, inside of my body, that now I just have to show up. And it's so easy to show up because it's just part of what I've created. But it took loads of times of showing up even when I don't want to. And now there is no show up if you don't want to. There just is show up, because I love showing up all the time. So it just becomes that. So I think going into 2021, if you can just remember, just keep on showing up, it's going to help you get those goals that you want for the rest of the year.
Perfect. Well, I appreciate it. I think you've provided lots of value today. So how can our listeners get in touch with you or find your program if they're interested in learning more?
Absolutely. You can find me on all of the places, Rebecca Louise Fitness, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. And if you want to get our free monthly calendar with new workouts, recipes, all the fun things, just go to rebecca-louise.com and you just click on the Get Started page, add in your email, and you are set to go.
Okay. Yeah, and I'll make sure I put the link in our show notes so it's easy for our listeners to find. Once again, appreciate all the insight you brought today, and to our listeners, as always, please like and subscribe. Let us know how we're doing, leave us a review, and let us know who you want to have on the show next time, so that way we keep the content relevant. And with that, we'll talk to you next time.